Felicia Cooper vividly recalls the night she came face to face with a version of Blake Lively the world rarely sees.
She's just mean. She's cruel. She's a cruel person. I'll say it out loud.
You're not the first person to say that.
At the time, Felicia was waitressing at the Cheesecake Factory, juggling her dreams of breaking into Hollywood with real-life hustle.
What was your experience with her, and was she very different from the rest of the family?
Just like to get to the table and was like, oh, hi. And just like flicked her finger up at me and then went and sat down.
She had developed a close bond with Robin Lively, Blake's older sister and an actress in her own right, who had taken Felicia under her wing as a mentor and treated her like extended family. So, when the opportunity came to meet Blake, it wasn't a random fangirl moment, it felt like a long-awaited family introduction.
Everyone was so polite to me. Guess who was not? She couldn't even be bothered to say hello.
But what should have been a warm and exciting dinner turned into an emotional gut punch.
And I was like, so she just treats people that way? Okay.
Felicia describes Blake's energy as cold and dismissive from the very beginning. She didn't get a smile, handshake, or even a simple hello. Instead, Blake reportedly flicked her finger in a dismissive gesture and sat down at the table without acknowledging Felicia's presence.
Fake Lively. She just had this little blossom hat on. Ugh.
That moment, as trivial as it might sound to outsiders, left a lasting impression. The casual cruelty and complete lack of kindness in such an intimate setting shattered Felicia's expectations, and her perception of Blake Lively forever. After that night, Felicia began calling Blake Fake Lively, a biting nickname that would later resonate with others who heard her story. To Felicia, the nickname wasn't just a jab, it was a direct reflection of the painful contradiction she witnessed.
And she had stressed them out so bad, Robin couldn't even focus. Because she was like, Blake is on some bullshit.
On screen and in interviews, Blake Lively was the embodiment of grace, charm, and poise, the perfect celebrity package. But behind closed doors, according to Felicia, she was unkind, emotionally cold, and borderline hostile.
Be so embarrassed of her and be like, oh my God, I am so sorry.
This dichotomy between Blake's public image and her private demeanor was jarring, and Felicia wasn't the only one who noticed. In her circle, people began to whisper. The nickname Fake Lively started as a private joke, but it quickly became shorthand for the dissonance many people allegedly saw but were too afraid to speak about. The implication was clear. Blake's media-perfect persona was nothing more than a facade, one that masked a much more complicated reality. What made the situation even more disturbing, Felicia says, is that the tension didn't just affect her, it reportedly took a toll on Robin Lively as well. Around the time of the Cheesecake Factory incident, Robin was preparing for a major audition. As her sister and fellow actress, Blake could have been a pillar of support. Instead, Felicia describes Blake's presence as emotionally disruptive and draining. According to Felicia, Robin was clearly stressed and distracted during this critical period, and Blake was a big reason why. Instead of encouraging or uplifting her sister, Blake reportedly brought nothing but chaos and negativity to the table, literally and metaphorically. Felicia recalls Robin being unable to concentrate on preparing for her audition because of the tension Blake brought into the room. This wasn't just sisterly bickering or family drama, it was a pattern of toxic energy that allegedly crept into professional moments and derailed personal progress. Robin's shot at a transformative career opportunity was, according to Felicia, clouded by her own sister's attitude. It was the kind of behind-the-scenes story that fans rarely hear, but one that explains the emotional weight behind Felicia's account. Felicia emphasizes that this wasn't just an awkward dinner, it was a soul-crushing moment of public rejection. In Hollywood, where image is everything and every interaction can shape a career, being dismissed by a powerful celebrity, especially one as beloved as Blake Lively, can be devastating. The psychological toll of being iced out in a room where you expected warmth is something Felicia says she still remembers vividly. What made it worse, she says, was the reaction of others at the table. Everyone, from Blake and Robin's mother to other guests, allegedly sensed the tension. Yet no one stepped in. That silence, that normalization of the cold shoulder, added another layer of hurt. Felicia didn't just feel rejected, she felt publicly humiliated. The kind of humiliation that echoes in your mind long after the moment has passed. Experts cited in the videos say this type of rejection, especially from someone admired, can cause long-term emotional fallout, feelings of unworthiness, self-doubt, and even shame. And for someone like Felicia, who was still climbing the ladder in a cutthroat industry, this encounter was more than a personal slight. It was a reminder of the invisible wall between Hollywood elites and everyone else. Of all the painful details Felisha shared, perhaps the most haunting was this. Blake made her feel invisible. Not just overlooked or ignored, but as if she didn't exist. That's a deep kind of emotional dismissal, and it's the kind that stays with a person. Felisha says Blake never once acknowledged her presence, not with a nod, a glance, or a smile. It was as if she wasn't even worthy of basic human decency. This kind of emotional erasure is particularly cruel in situations where familial ties and mutual respect should be expected. Felisha wasn't a random stranger. She was someone close to Blake's sister, someone who had every reason to believe she'd be treated with courtesy, if not kindness. But Blake's indifference reportedly left her feeling not just unseen, but deeply devalued. In Felisha's words, it was a moment that stripped her of dignity in front of people she had once considered extended family. Felicia strongly suggests that her experience wasn't unique. She claims Blake's alleged behavior reflects a broader pattern, one that insiders in Hollywood quietly acknowledge but rarely discuss. According to Felicia, this isn't about one bad night or a celebrity having an off day. It's about a repeated, consistent display of coldness and superiority toward others, including, alarmingly, members of her own family. She describes Blake's emotional control as subtle but powerful. Whether it was Robin's audition being overshadowed by Blake's presence or Felicia being made to feel worthless in what should have been a warm setting, the underlying issue seems to be Blake's alleged need to dominate the emotional dynamic in any room she enters. This isn't just social awkwardness. Felicia believes it's a calculated behavior, a power play designed to reinforce Blake's position at the top of the emotional hierarchy. Even more troubling is the silence surrounding it. In an industry where speaking out can get you blacklisted, few are willing to challenge someone with Blake's level of fame and influence. But Felicia, having nothing left to lose and tired of the double standards, decided to speak up, even if it meant putting herself at risk. Felicia Cooper's story pulls back the curtain on something much bigger than a single bad dinner. It challenges the very foundation of Blake Lively's public identity, the one fans see on red carpets, in interviews, and on magazine covers. To the outside world, Blake is the picture-perfect Hollywood darling, effortlessly charming, fashion-forward, down-to-earth, and fiercely loyal to her family. But according to Felicia, that version of Blake is a performance, not a personality. Felicia describes Blake's public image as Pinterest perfect, a polished, curated character designed to be palatable, marketable, and adored. But behind that glossy filter, Felicia suggests there's a cold, emotionally detached woman who can be manipulative and dismissive even toward people closest to her. This contrast between image and reality is where the nickname Fake Lively gains real weight. It's not just about one rude encounter, it's about the implications of living a double life. Blake, according to these claims, isn't just maintaining a fake persona for the media, she's actively silencing and alienating people behind the scenes to keep that image intact. And it works, because Hollywood thrives on perception. Fans aren't shown the uncomfortable truths. They're shown movie premieres, romantic Instagram posts with Ryan Reynolds, and glowing PR narratives. The truth, Felicia warns, might be far messier and more painful. One of the most chilling revelations in Felicia's story isn't about what Blake allegedly did, but about what everyone around her didn't do. According to Felicia, people in the industry know about Blake's reported coldness. The whispers, the side glances, the uncomfortable stories, they exist. But very few dare to speak them aloud. Why? Because calling out someone like Blake Lively is seen as career suicide. Felicia openly acknowledges that Hollywood runs on an unspoken rule: protect the power players. If someone speaks out against a celebrity with status, connections, and brand power, especially someone tied to another Hollywood heavyweight like Ryan Reynolds, they risk getting iced out of future jobs, casting opportunities, or partnerships. It's not just personal backlash, it's professional erasure. This is why so many stay silent. It's safer to nod politely, smile for the cameras, and pretend the off-screen reality doesn't exist. But for Felicia, silence wasn't an option anymore. She says she watched too many people, herself included, get emotionally bruised by behavior that never matched the headlines. She wasn't just airing a personal grievance, she was trying to expose a system that protects bad behavior as long as it's wrapped in designer gowns and red carpet grins. Her decision to speak up is framed as bold and dangerous, not because her claims lack merit, but because they target a celebrity who's widely beloved, and more importantly, powerful. Felicia's story isn't just about Blake Lively, it's about the industry's complicity in protecting the illusion, even when it hurts people behind the scenes. One of the most striking parts of Felicia Cooper's account is how it challenges the notion that Blake Lively is a loving, grounded, family-oriented woman. In countless interviews and media appearances, Blake speaks warmly about her sisters, her parents, and, of course, her husband, Ryan Reynolds. She presents as someone deeply rooted in family values. But according to Felicia, that's just more of the illusion. Felicia makes it clear that the damage Blake allegedly caused didn't end at acquaintances or mentees. It extended into her own family. She recalls a critical moment when Robin Lively was preparing for a major audition, a time when family support should have been automatic. But instead of lifting her sister up, Blake reportedly brought a dark cloud into the room, tense, chaotic energy that threw off the entire preparation process. This wasn't just an off day, Felicia insists. It was a pattern. She describes Blake as someone who doesn't uplift those around her, even when they're family. Instead of empowering Robin in a moment of professional vulnerability, Blake allegedly acted out in a way that diminished her confidence and shifted the energy toward herself. It was, as Felicia describes, like an emotional power play, one that made everyone else shrink so that Blake could take up more space. In an industry built on image, it's easy to pass off these moments as family drama or harmless mood swings. But Felicia's account suggests something deeper. A repeated intentional behavior that undermines people emotionally, even the ones closest to her. And that's what she finds most disturbing. Because when the cracks in a celebrity's perfect image start showing at the family level, it raises a bigger question. If this is how she treats her sister, how many others have been quietly hurt along the way? The video ends with a powerful message. Don't be fooled by the Hollywood glow. Felicia Cooper's story is framed as a wake-up call, a reminder that the version of a celebrity you fall in love with on screen or on social media is often just that. A version, a character, a performance. And in Blake Lively's case, Felicia suggests the gap between that performance and reality is wide and damaging. According to the video, Blake has spent years curating a flawless image, smiling through interviews, championing social causes, maintaining an enviable marriage, and playing fashion icon to millions. But underneath all that gloss, Felicia says there's a pattern of behavior no one wants to talk about: emotional coldness, condescension, and cruelty toward those who aren't in the spotlight. This isn't just about a rude dinner or a dismissive glance, it's about a legacy. Felicia's allegations suggest that Blake has carefully filtered the parts of herself the public sees while burying the rest under PR strategy and Pinterest-worthy perfection. And that duality, the charm versus the cruelty, is what the nickname Fake Lively really points to.